Hello and welcome to Magic Gathering Strat. My name is Tobias. I'm doing a deck tech review discussion video of my second breakfast combo deck. I have played a couple of matches with the deck, and at least the main deck is now the way I think it will stay. The sideboard still has some loose parts. I will go through the deck card by card and tell you why it's in, and afterwards I'm going through the sideboard as well, and then I have some cards up for discussion maybe. Okay, we are starting with the main deck. I run 4 Lotus Bloom. In the beginning I started with 2 Lotus Bloom, but I guess if you're running only 2, you need Mox Opals, which are too expensive for me right now, and I want to stay budget. The deck as it is now is very cheap, aside from Hallowed Fountain and Flooded Strand, which are the most expensive cards in the deck, and adding Mox Opals would just boost the price enormously. So I'm playing 4 Lotus Blooms because it's really nice to suspend them on turn 1, so you can combo off on your turn 3. Okay, Darksteel Citadels are important because you can reshape them. Flooded Strands are important because they come back when you use your face reward. And Ghost Quarters are very important because you can destroy your own lands with them, and the destroyed land and Ghost Quarter will come back when you use face rewards, and you can destroy your Darksteel Citadel, which is indestructible, and use Ghost Quarter as a fetch land. Hallowed Fountain has to be in because at the beginning of the game you don't know yet if you need white or blue mana, so you are almost always fetching Hallowed Fountain, but you need only 2 because they cost life when they enter the battlefield, and you don't want to do this. And you have 5 basic lands which are good targets for Flooded Strand and the Ghost Quarter. Serum Visions is mainly into dig for land, I would say, and the scry effect is nice. What is annoying is that it costs blue mana, but there is no real alternative to it. Altar of the Brood is my win option. In the beginning, when I first thought about the deck, I played 4 of them, which was too much. Now I'm down to 2. You could run only 1, because the deck has the capability of going infinite combo, so you will find your Altar of the Brood. If you're planning on going infinite combo, the second Altar of the Brood should be Codex Shredder, because Codex Shredder allows you to go infinite. But I want to speed things up. I'm running 2 Altar of the Brood, and I never used my Codex Shredder. And I don't want to go infinite because it's boring to play and it's boring to watch. And my aim is, my target is to finish 2 or 3 games in 25 minutes, and having 2 altars is greatly speeding up the process. Okay, here are the eggs. Chromatic Sphere and Chromatic Star are in because they are cheap, because they are artifacts, and because they draw cards and fix mana, so they are great. Conjurer's Booble are in because they are sacrifice able and draw you cards and are very cheap, and they put face reward and open the vault back on the bottom of your library. And because of this you have shuffle effects by Flooded Strand, and then you get your face reward and open the vault back. Nihil Spellbomb is a must-have because you cannot win against any deck that runs Emrakul or another Eldrazi that reshuffles the graveyard into the library. So you need a well-timed Nihil Spellbomb to defeat Tron. Artificious Intuition is a great card because you can find your win option by it, and it allows you to discard an artifact from your hand, which is great if you draw a Lotus Bloom while comboing off, because you cannot suspend your Lotus Bloom when you are in your combo cycle, but you can discard it by Artificious Intuition. That's why this card is in. And I run only one because more copies don't have more effect. Same reason for running one Trade Routes is during your combo you tend to have a lot of lands in your hand, and by running trade routes you can discard land cards to draw cards, and this is my alternative to Codex Shredder. I like it more. It's I don't know, it's more swift. It's not as complicated as the Codex Shredder, and that's the reason for me to play it. Reshape, you most of the time play it for just 2 blue mana to find Lotus Bloom, but you can find your win option, and you can find any other card in the deck. Elsewhere Flask is a mana fixer which draws you a card, and I'm running only one. I have seen other versions of the deck which run 4. It's nice because it's sacrificeable, and it draws you a card for only 2 mana. Ensnaring Bridge keeps you alive because I don't go infinite. This card helps me. Face Reward and Open the Walls do the same. They return all artifacts and enchantments from the graveyard to the battlefield. Face Reward is the better card because it's an instant, and it returns every permanent that went to the graveyard from the battlefield. So you get a lot of lands back, which you won't get back by Open the Walls, and Open the Walls is slower, it's a sorcery, and it costs more. And Crack Clan Ironworks is your motor. It adds tremendous amounts of mana to your mana pool, and because of this you run 4 of them. Okay, that's the main deck. Now we have a look at the sideboard. For now, it might change because the sideboard has not been tested as much. For now I run 4 Silence. Silence is a great card. It allows you to force your combo through counterspells, and it's very good in the mirror match. And Echoing Truth is in if you have to play against white decks that lock down your graveyard by Rest in Peace, or shut down every ability of your artifacts. And because of this you run 4 of them. It's an okay card against Splinter Twin. It's not so great against Splinter Twin, but it works. And it might work against ley lines, but you don't target. But you can run another version of the deck where you target. So Echoing Truth is okay. Gravedigger's Cage. I think Dredge will be more popular now, and that's why it's in. Pithing Needle against Planeswalkers and other nasty stuff. Sun Droplets against Burn. It's a nice card against Burn because you get life every turn, and it's an artifact which you can sacrifice. Torpor Orb against Splinter Twin and Pot-like decks, even though Pot is now banned, but the deck will stay. I guess they will replace Pot by a suitable substitution. And Ensnaring Bridge, another Ensnaring Bridge against aggro decks. And one card I like to try out, Peace of Mind against Burn. Okay, this is the deck as I run it right now. Now I prepared some cards which are up for discussion. Let's see if this works. I wanted to show you the original win combination, the original win option of the deck, which is Pirate Spellbomb. If you plan on running Pirate Spellbomb, you probably will need Mox Opals, because getting the red mana is hard, and you have to go infinite combo because you have to hit him at at least 8 to 10 times with the Pirate Spellbomb, and I think it's just inferior to the mill option, but just for completion I wanted to show the original win option. I spent a lot of time thinking about card draw in this deck, and the card draw I decided to run is Serum Visions, because it's very cheap. It draws you a card and it lets you scry, but there are alternatives which might be interesting. One of them is Perilous Research. It's very cheap as well. It's an instant, while Serum Visions is a sorcery, and it draws you 2 cards and then you can sacrifice a permanent. Might be an option, especially with Echo Wellspring, a card which I'll show you later. For the same reason, Telling Time might be interesting, because you get a lot of information. You get to look at 3 cards at instant speed, and you get one of these cards into the graveyard, and by this you can place an artifact into the graveyard which will come back if you open the vault, so it might be okay to run Telling Time. And the last card draw option is Thirst for Knowledge. It draws you 3 cards, but it's the most expensive of all the card draw options, and then you have to discard 2 cards unless you discard an artifact card. Might be okay to run 1 or 2 of them to find combo pieces quicker. I don't know, you decide. And I wanted to show you some artifacts which did not make my list, but which are interesting and show up in some sideboards or in other lists. Aether Spellbomb is one of them, because it can bounce creatures, it sacrifices itself to draw a card, and it is very cheap. Profane Memento is a card which I thought long and hard about. It looks like an okay sideboard card against creature-heavy aggro decks, because you gain a life whenever a creature is put into your opponent's graveyard. And by running 2 Altar of the Blood, you often are in a situation where you have your win option in play, but cannot combo off yet, and you mill your opponent for 2 to 3 to 4 cards a turn, and by having a Profane Memento you might be able to mill creatures, but I have not tested it yet. Sunbeam Spellbomb is a sideboard card, obviously, against Burn. It gains you 5 life and it sacrifices itself. It is very cheap and it comes back when you combo off. Terrarion is an alternative to Chromatic Sphere, maybe, because it works. The card draw works even if you don't use the ability of Terrarion. It's bad because it comes into play tapped. I would not recommend running it because of this, but you might want to try. And the last one is a card which I'm looking forward to testing. I told you in the beginning of the video that I run Serum Visions mainly to dig for lands. I thought, why not run an artifact which comes back from the graveyard to dig for lands. This would be a very nice interaction with my trade routes, but I only run 5 basic lands. That's the main reason why I have not built the deck around Traveler's Amulet, but it might work. Tell me what you think about it. Here are some converted mana cost 2 cards which are nice and which appear in a few lists around the internet. Echo Wellspring, pretty self-explanatory. It draws you a card when you play it, it draws you a card when it's sacrificed, it's an artifact, it comes back when you combo off. This card I like a lot. I'm thinking about running 1 copy of it. It costs 2 mana and it turns a permanent into an artifact. And by this you can turn your basic lands into artifacts, and then they are sacrifice able to crack Clan Ironworks, and they will come back when you combo off, because they went to the graveyard in the acting turn. So it might be okay to run one copy of it. I have not tested it yet. Mindstone. Mindstone adds mana. It is sacrificeable and draws your card. Many lists run one copy of Mindstone. I did not test it. It feels not good to me, but so many players who run successfully their decks play it, so it must be good. It's just not my type of card. Stop the Foundry is another win option for this deck. It's a 2-mana artifact. It gains you life, it makes a lot of tokens, it comes back, it sacrifices itself to create more tokens. Maybe one could run one Altar of the Brood and one Stop the Foundry and have 2 ways to win. Might be an option. And last 2-mana card is Time Thief. You can take maybe infinite extra turns by this card. I'm not running it because I don't want to go infinite combo. I want to end my game as quickly as possible, but with a nice complicated deck. This one might work because sacrificing 5 artifacts, including this one, is not hard with this deck. A Leyline of Sanctity is another sideboard card which you might want to run over Sundroplet because it is superior to many decks. It's very great against this card. It shuts down Thoughtseize, Inquisition of Kozilek, and so on, and it's great against Burn, but it's no artifact, you cannot sacrifice it. Maybe it's worth a shot, you decide. And the last card I want to show you is the card that I cut from my main deck because I never used it for the purpose it is intended to use, and I think my list can run without it. It's Codex Shredder. It's needed if you want to go infinite because you can sacrifice Codex Shredder for 5 mana to return Open the Walls, and you need 11 mana, but you can go infinite, or with Phase Reward you need 9 mana to go infinite. I hope you liked what I showed you. Please tell me in the comments if you like deck text videos when I do them this way, and I hope I can show you some matches soon, and thanks for watching.